Hi everyone, still knife. Still knife, along with monochrome, macro and abstract, tends to be one of the most misunderstood genres in photography. Why this so, I have absolutely no idea. In fact, it is a mystery to me why it is so misunderstood, because it has one of the most simple genre definitions of all. If you jump onto the website, onto the internet, and you put in your search engine still life images, you'll come across these type of images. Now, none of these images are still lifes. They all have some movement in it. The objects are in some ways alive, so you cannot call these still life. But if you dig deeper and you look into websites that are talking about and discussing still life and the definitions of still life and all this sort of thing, you will then come across websites that talk about fine art still life, fashion still life, portrait still life. One of my favourites, landscape still life, and many others. None of these that I've shown you now are still life images. And by simply putting in the term still life after a genre doesn't make it a still life. Yet many people, and as a society, we love to put labels on, but we've got to put the correct labels on. So we need to understand what still life is and where it comes from. So the definition of a still life image is very, very simple. It is an image that is an arrangement of inanimate objects. That's it. Dead simple. Yet many competitions want to add in many more words and make it verbose and make it too complex, and people just will either not read it or not understand it. This is it. An image that is an arrangement of inanimate objects. To understand where this comes from, we need to go back to the 17th or 18th century, to the Flemish and Dutch masters of the time. And we come across the word stilleven, and in the Dutch language that means still life. But I think the French term for still life images is probably more descriptive and maybe makes it more easily understood by people that are struggling with the idea of the definition. And the French term is nature mort, or dead life. So as long as life is extinct from every object within, and I say that again, from every object within the image, then it is still life only if that life is extinct. So to give you an idea, here is a leaf. It's on a plain background, whether that background is white, black, green, or whatever colour you want. That is a still life. The leaf is dead. It is considered to be a still life. If I take this leaf and put it onto a concrete or asphalt or tabletop or desk or whatever I want, then it is still a still life. But if I take that same leaf and put it on a green grass background, then it is no longer a still life, because everything in that image is not dead. The grass is still growing. So we need to understand that every object within the image must be inanimate, must be dead, no movement. Here's another still life. We can see there's fruit in the glass, and you've got fluid, and you've got a sprig of rosemary there. It is a still life. It could also be a product image, and that's quite okay. this is a still life. But if I now go and drop something into the fluid, I have now animated that fluid, and it is no longer a still life. At almost every competition or still life competition that I judge, you will get flower images. Here's one. This is a still life. Flowers are an interesting subject, because we know some flowers, once they're cut, will continue to sprout roots and will continue growing. But in general, cut flowers are considered a still life because they are considered dead. Most flowers, after a few days, a week or so, they will die. And so, for instance, in this image that you're seeing on screen at the moment, the cut flowers, the fruit, all constitute inanimate objects and therefore are a still life. But almost every competition I judge, I will always get an image that is a growing plant in a pot. And a growing plant in a pot is not an inanimate object and is not a still life. So just remember that an inanimate object or a still life is an inanimate object or an arrangement of inanimate objects. And unless they're inanimate, it is not a still life. So I hope you've got something out of this. And until next time, see you later.